Yeah, good morning guys and welcome. We need a bigger farm. So says Bosshog, a foreigner farming in the Philippines. He uploaded a video midweek and that was the title, We Need a Bigger Farm. Fatso and the clan piled into two trucks and went to Gaddafi to sell what little squash they had. And as usual, in this video we're going to call him out for the fake failing farmer that he is and the dreamer that he is. So I want you to take a look at this first clip. Listen to the words of the big wheel businessman.
Welcome to Foreign Farming in the Philippines. Well, we've got too much for one truck and don't feel like making two trips, so we're going to take both trucks. Consing and Hippie are going to ride with Tatai, and me and the lovely Maricel and Charlie are going to take this one. I don't know. We couldn't figure out a consolidated place to park until the mop came. So we will go there. You want me to pull up there?
So there you heard him. There is too much squash to go into one truck, so we're going to be using both trucks, both the pink and the new red truck. But last week when he went to market, he overloaded, abused my truck with squash, filled it to the ginnels, and 6 people, yes, 6 people travelled in one truck. Yet today, 3 in one truck, 3 in the other. He quite clearly stated that. And to look at the back of those trucks today, there was very little squash in the back of there. There was nowhere near the half a ton or the ton that he normally claims he has. But with any video that Bosshog uploads, he's always plotting and planning and dreaming. And I want you to listen to this clip because the dreamer from the hovel has a plan. Listen to the big wheel businessman.
Alright guys, I didn't film it because I was too busy talking. It's hard to see him. That gentleman going right there in that white shirt, I'm probably going to be doing a couple videos on him. His name is Joe. He's a former professor at the Bosshog. I don't know, I can't remember. It was the Farmers College here in Bosshog, and he's affiliated with a large company here. And you know, we were talking. He's going to give us a sample of some fish amino acid to try as a fertilizer on the crops. And I don't know. It's time to switch gears because he just told me, and he needs it right now. And I told him we can't do it right now. He needs 4 tons of squash a week. He has a buyer for them. So we're going to have to get busy. And, you know, because we're at the tail end of the 500 per kilo a week squash. We've been getting that for almost 2 months, but it's time to start replanting. So we're going to be down to the 200 kilo per week, far away from 4 tons. So we're going to have to replant, get all the fields in production. We're going to have to redo that area around the plateau, get it planted again. We've got some work to do. I've got to talk things over with the lovely Maricel and see what we can do to accelerate this whole thing. 4 tons a week, I told them The thing is he needs it year round.
So in that clip there, guys, Bosshog was talking to Joe, and Joe was a professor from some agricultural college on the island of Bosshog, and Joe informed Brian that he needed 4.5 tons of squash per week all year round. And of course, the big wheel businessman, Bosshog, was getting all excited. He states that he's going to have to talk to the lovely Maricel and ask the Yaya if we can switch gear and accelerate the process of growing the squash. He then states that he's going to do a couple of videos with Joe the Professor, and it makes you wonder, Bosshog, who says he's farming for profit in the Philippines, why he can't do it himself. Why does he always have someone to lean on, or need someone to lean on, such as Jason, such as Rick, Mike and Dubs? Here he is, he's bumped into a stranger at the market, and Bosshog immediately latches on to Joe. And 4.5 tons of squash a week Joe wants. He says he's got a buyer. Now, Fatso, you heard him say that we're at the tail end of the 500 kilos of squash each harvest. He says it'd be more like 200 kilos from now on. He cannot grow a ton of squash, never mind 4.5 tons of squash. So how's he going to manage that? How is he going to persuade Maricel to switch gear and accelerate the process of growing squash? What's the plan, Brian? Are you going to maybe join forces with Mike? Both farms producing squash to fulfill that order at 4.5 tons. We all know what happened, don't we? If that is your plan. With you as manager, I imagine Mike and Dubs will be out of pocket. And then of course you have to think of this. Last week you clearly stated that you couldn't afford 4,500 pesos per week for 2 workers to clear the fields. And you state you need to speak to the lovely Maricel to try and accelerate the growing of the squash. Well, I think, Brian, you better speak to yourself, because for at least 2 months you've never given any updates on those fields. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. You've abandoned them. And when you did do an update last week, quite clearly we all saw that the jungle had taken it back. Now, when you want to speak to someone about how can we fill an order of 4.5 tons of squash, I'll give you a little bit of advice, Brian. Farmers, real farmers, work hard. They go out in their fields every day, and that's what you should have been doing. You should have been doing what every other farmer does. In those fields, working hard, putting the hours in, instead of sat on your arse in the shack watching videos and doing live streams. You reap what you sow, Brian. And here we are. This guy wants a big order of squash, and you are looking for someone else to do the work. You're not prepared to do the work yourself. You're the big whale. I'm a farmer. I'm the best foreign farmer in the Philippines, but you never work. You've got to put the hours in and work hard to reap the rewards. Something you have never ever done on that farm. You've missed an opportunity there because you're absolutely born idle. If you had been in those fields, growing squash, putting the hard work in, you'd have been able to fulfil that order. But you haven't got it in you. You're absolutely born idle. And what we can expect now is for Bosshog to upload video after video telling us how he's going to fulfil this 4.5 ton squash order. Of course, he'll tell you he hasn't got a budget, or budget is tight. He'll explain how many workers he needs, because he's an e-begging scumbag. And this bum goes round in circles. It's like a broken record. Another project there, another missed opportunity, big squash order. And do you remember the tilapia, how it failed? And then the tilapia rebirth? That is on the back burner. Crayfish. I think that's just an hobby, that, the crayfish. This moron from the Bohovel just goes round in circles, and it's an e-begging opportunity for him. That's all it is. But with any business you are in, if you put the work in and you're losing money to begin with, but if you keep working harder and you keep putting the hours in, you will always come out on top. And that is something that the Bohovel bum has failed to do, because he's a loser. He's a loser, he's a user, and he's an e-begging scumbag. It's as simple as that. So, till the next time, guys, bye for now.